100 years ago, few could have imagined how certain cities would rise from poverty, isolation, or destruction to become global icons of wealth, technology, and culture. These cities are more than skylines. They are symbols of human determination, ambition, and vision. Today, we will uncover 5 of the most shocking urban transformations in history. From fishing villages to megacities, from deserts to skylines of steel and glass, here are cities that redefined what is possible. Dubai. From fishing village to futuristic metropolis. In the early 20th century, Dubai was a small settlement along the Arabian Gulf. Its economy was based on pearl diving, fishing, and small-scale trade. Families lived in simple houses made of palm fronds, and life was tough under the scorching desert sun. When the global pearl industry collapsed in the 1930s, Dubai was left impoverished. Many believed it would never recover. But the discovery of oil in the 1960s provided the first lifeline. Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum had a vision: use oil revenues not just for wealth, but to build infrastructure. Roads, ports, and airports were constructed, turning Dubai into a regional trading hub. However, the real transformation came when the leadership realized oil would not last forever. They pivoted to trade, tourism, and finance. The construction of Jebel Ali Port, the world's largest man-made harbor, attracted global shipping. In the 1990s and 2000s, mega projects like the Burj Al Arab, Palm Jumeirah, and later the Burj Khalifa redefined Dubai's image. Today, Dubai is a global hub for finance, real estate, tourism, and innovation. From a desert village to a city with futuristic skyscrapers, luxury islands, and flying taxis, Dubai's story is nothing short of extraordinary. Singapore. From swamp to global financial giant, few cities have undergone such a radical transformation as Singapore. In 1965, when it gained independence from Malaysia, Singapore was a poor island with no natural resources. The population lived in overcrowded slums, unemployment was high, and many doubted it could survive as a nation. Yet under the leadership of Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore adopted bold reforms. It focused on clean governance, education, and attracting foreign investment. Land was reclaimed, ports were expanded, and public housing transformed slums into modern apartments. By welcoming multinational corporations, Singapore turned itself into a global hub for finance, trade, and logistics. The Singapore River, once polluted and dirty, was cleaned and redeveloped into a vibrant waterfront. Today, Singapore boasts one of the highest GDP per capita in the world, with skyscrapers, cutting-edge technology, and Changi Airport consistently ranked as the world's best. From swamps and poverty to prosperity and global influence, Singapore stands as a model of transformation through discipline, vision, and relentless hard work. Shanghai. From opium trade to megacity of the future. In the 19th century, Shanghai was known for foreign concessions, opium trade, and political unrest. By the mid-20th century, it was a declining port city, with old neighborhoods and weak infrastructure. For decades under communist China, development was limited. But in 1990, everything changed. The government declared Pudong, then farmland and warehouses, as a new economic zone. What followed was one of the fastest urban transformations in history. Within 3 decades, Pudong rose from rice fields to a skyline filled with some of the world's tallest skyscrapers, including the Shanghai Tower and the Jin Mao Tower. The Bund, once colonial banks and trading houses, became a symbol of global finance. Today, Shanghai is home to more than 25 million people and serves as China's financial capital. Its high-speed trains, massive metro system, and futuristic skyline make it one of the most advanced cities on Earth. The speed of Shanghai's rise is unmatched, turning a city once associated with colonial exploitation into the face of modern China's power. Hong Kong. From fishing port to financial empire, Hong Kong's transformation is a story of resilience. In the 1800s, it was a sparsely populated fishing port. When it became a British colony after the Opium Wars, its deep natural harbor gave it strategic value. Refugees fleeing wars in China swelled its population, creating overcrowding and poverty. But after World War II, Hong Kong began to rise. Cheap labor and entrepreneurial spirit fueled manufacturing, making it a hub for textiles, electronics, and toys. In the 1970s and 1980s, Hong Kong transitioned from industry to finance and services. The skyline filled with skyscrapers, and the city developed one of the most efficient public transport systems in the world. The Star Ferry, Victoria Peak, and neon-lit streets became global icons. By the time of the 1997 handover to China, Hong Kong was one of the richest cities in Asia, a place where East met West. Today, it remains a global financial hub, despite challenges, with a GDP per capita among the highest in the world. From a fishing port to a financial empire, Hong Kong's rise is legendary. Riyadh, from desert capital to modern powerhouse. Less than a century ago, Riyadh was a small desert town with mud brick houses and narrow streets. Its population was only a few thousand, living a simple life centered on farming and trade. But as Saudi Arabia discovered oil in the 20th century, Riyadh transformed rapidly. The capital became the administrative and political heart of the kingdom. In the 1970s and 1980s, oil revenues fueled massive modernization. Roads, highways, universities, and hospitals sprang up. The once small desert city became a modern metropolis. Today, Riyadh is one of the fastest-growing cities in the Middle East. With projects like King Abdullah Financial District, Riyadh Metro, and Vision 2030 initiatives, it is positioning itself as a global business hub. Futuristic projects like NEOM and The Line highlight Saudi Arabia's ambition to lead in innovation. Riyadh's story represents not just economic growth, but the rebirth of a city that went from desert sands to a symbol of global transformation. These 5 cities, Dubai, Singapore, Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Riyadh, share one thing in common: they are fused to accept their limitations. Whether starting from poverty, destruction, or obscurity, each of them reinvented itself through vision, leadership, and determination. But these are only half the story. In the next part, we will explore 5 more cities whose transformations are just as shocking, from Seoul and Tokyo to New York, Shenzhen, and Istanbul. Each has a unique journey that reveals how cities are more than places. They are engines of human ambition and resilience. Seoul. From war ruins to technology giant. In the early 1950s, South Korea was one of the poorest countries on Earth. The Korean War, 1950-1953, left Seoul in ashes, its population devastated and infrastructure destroyed. Refugees filled the city, living in shacks and tents. Hunger and disease were rampant, and many experts believed Korea could never recover. Yet the people of Seoul proved them wrong. With determination, education reforms, and strong government planning, South Korea launched a series of rapid economic programs known as the Miracle on the Han River. By the 1970s and 1980s, Seoul had become an industrial powerhouse, producing cars, ships, and electronics. Companies like Samsung, Hyundai, and LG emerged as global brands. Skyscrapers rose along the Han River, while subways and highways connected the growing metropolis. Today, Seoul is a city of nearly 10 million, leading the world in technology, pop culture, and innovation. From K-pop to robotics, it has transformed from war ruins into a city that shapes global culture. Tokyo. From atomic ruins to the world's biggest city, few cities symbolize resilience like Tokyo. In 1945, it was devastated by air raids and then overshadowed by the atomic bombings in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Millions were left homeless, and much of the city lay in ruins. Yet within a few decades, Tokyo rose again, this time as a symbol of modernity. Japan invested heavily in rebuilding its capital, creating a city that combined tradition with futuristic technology. By the 1964 Olympics, Tokyo shocked the world with the Shinkansen, the world's first bullet train. Skyscrapers rose, Neon lights filled the districts of Shinjuku and Shibuya, and Tokyo became the beating heart of Japan's economic miracle. Today, with more than 37 million people in its metropolitan area, it is the largest city in the world. From sushi to anime, Tokyo is not just an economic giant, it is a cultural superpower, proving that from ashes can rise greatness beyond imagination. New York City, from colonial outpost to global capital. In the 1600s, New York began as a Dutch trading post called New Amsterdam, a small settlement on the edge of a vast continent. For centuries, it grew slowly, a melting pot of immigrants and cultures. But by the 19th and early 20th centuries, it became the entry point for millions of immigrants seeking a new life in America. Poverty was rampant in tenement districts, but opportunity was everywhere. The construction of the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island cemented its role as a gateway to the New World. Skyscrapers like the Empire State Building and Chrysler Building defined its skyline, while Wall Street turned it into the financial capital of the world. By the late 20th century, New York was not just America's largest city, it was the global capital of finance, media, and culture. From Broadway to Times Square, from Wall Street to Central Park, New York embodies transformation, from a colonial outpost to the city that never sleeps. Shenzhen, from village to Silicon Valley of China, perhaps no city has grown as fast as Shenzhen. In the late 1970s, it was a fishing village of just 30,000 people near Hong Kong. Fields, farms, and small houses defined its landscape. Everything changed in 1980, when Deng Xiaoping declared Shenzhen China's first special economic zone. The results were explosive. Foreign investment poured in, factories multiplied, and millions of workers arrived. Within a generation, Shenzhen transformed into a megacity of over 12 million people. Today, it is the high-tech capital of China, home to companies like Huawei, Tencent, and DJI. Its skyline rivals that of New York and Dubai, with futuristic skyscrapers and a booming economy driven by technology and innovation. From a tiny village to a global Silicon Valley, Shenzhen's transformation is one of the most astonishing in human history. Istanbul, from imperial legacy to modern hub. Istanbul is a city that has reinvented itself countless times over the centuries. Once known as Byzantium, then Constantinople, it was the capital of the Byzantine and Ottoman empires. After the Ottoman decline, the city stagnated, overshadowed by Ankara as the capital of modern Turkey. But in the late 20th and 21st centuries, Istanbul experienced a renaissance. Population growth, urban development, and investment turned it into one of the fastest-growing cities in Europe and the Middle East. Today, Istanbul blends its imperial heritage, Hagia Sophia, Topkapi Palace, the Grand Bazaar, with modern skyscrapers, bridges, and airports. Its new Istanbul airport is one of the largest in the world. With a population of over 15 million, it is Turkey's economic, cultural, and tourist hub. From empire to modern megacity, Istanbul's story proves that history and modernity can coexist in one breathtaking city. Conclusion: the power of urban transformation. These 10 cities, Dubai, Singapore, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Riyadh, Seoul, Tokyo, New York, Shenzhen, and Istanbul, show us that transformation is never impossible. Each faced unique challenges: deserts, war, poverty, or colonial exploitation. Yet through vision, leadership, and determination, they became global icons. Their skylines tell stories of ambition and resilience. Their streets hum with culture and innovation, and their people embody the spirit of progress. The lesson is clear. Cities are not just places where we live. They are living testaments to what humanity can achieve. From sand to skyscrapers, from ruins to riches, from villages to megacities, the shocking transformations of these cities will inspire generations to dream bigger and build bolder. And the question remains, which city will be next?